Yeah, I'm gonna be starting my fish YouTube channel today. It's kind of weird talking behind, on camera, but this is my quarantine 6-gallon tank. Right now, I just got ramshorn snails in here just to keep the population up in here and to, make sure that I have some nitrates and stuff to keep the cycle going. And I just got a couple of these to feed them. Got a coconut hut. Got some little gravel, just basic stuff to a heater, a thermostat, and filter that came with the tank. And the LED is not so bad for a full complete set 6-gallon tank. I used to have a beta in here, but it passed away sadly. And now I just have ramshorn snails for my quarantine. Now when I get new fish, look at that guy flying down. Also, here's my 40-gallon tank I just bought recently. I can't wait to set it up, but I'm just gonna set it up for breeding fish for profit. My plans is guppies. Also get some plecos. I'm not sure what plecos I want. Maybe super red, or calico, or the blue lemon. But also, I really want to start breeding pistos, try breeding some hard fish. And guys, let me know what other fish I should try to breed. But also give me some suggestions what I should do with this thing. Plants, gravel, etc. And now onto my 20-gallon tank that I love dearly and I've had for a very long time. Here's some guppies I've been breeding, and it's just they've been having tons of babies. Like I don't even think they're getting fed. Look at them swarm in the top. But it's heavily planted. I got some algae in there I gotta clean up. It's a lot that's been going on in the gravel. I'm not sure it's because of the food that's been left in the gravel and then it's been getting algae in the gravel so far. But also the tank is, I run it a little high. I do live in Florida. It does get hot here, but I run a heater, so sometimes at night it gets a little chilly. So I just sometimes heat it up to 78, about 79 sometimes. But my Eheim heater right now is off because during the day it's perfect weather for tropical fish. And I got my pre-filter sponge that, it comes a pain sometimes to clean, but it's the best thing possible trying to breed fish with it. I have my little sponge filter over there. It used to be covered in algae, but, I got rid of it with, hydrogen peroxide I found on Amazon. It was like giving me a whole box of it. And here's my Aquarium co-op sticker where I get most of my equipment, everything I get mostly from there. It's pretty cheap. They give the best service. The YouTube channel I follow desperately. I watch all his videos. I got just an extra thermostat, just in case. Even got one of the Aquarium co-op's measuring cups. Planty here, got some dwarf sage. I got some, Valencia? Crepe Valencia. Been growing pretty well. I thought this was all one plant, but turns out it's two plants, as you can see, one here, one right there. One of my favorite plants is the Anubias copperfolia. I just love the wrinkle effect it has on plants, but lately it's not been doing so well. I've been trying to get it down in the substrate a bit, but not to where it covers the rhizome at all. But it doesn't stay. But every time it gets a new leaf, it's not doing so well. It's like that color, that very lightish lime green. And other stocking in this tank besides the guppies is my peppered catfish. I have 6 of them, which I love. One of my favorite catfish. I wish I could breed them, but I haven't had any success with them. Trying to introduce the like rainy season, like it rains, trying to drop the temperature, feed them in bloodworms and stuff. It really hasn't helped, but I hope I could get there one day and breed these guys because I love the pattern on them. They're very interesting to me. One of my favorites. One of the first first catfish or corridors I've ever had, and I just love them. I have some rocks in here, some dragonstone fennel, and they're growing a little bit of blackbeard algae and string algae on them, but the hydrogen peroxide takes care of that. There used to be a lot more on them, but I sprayed them so much, and now it's good. I have some coconut huts in there, and I have an extra sponge just in case, I used to have that sponge on there, but it used to clog so much. Now I just leave it in here. I used to have shrimp, but it was a long story how they got eaten by my tetras that I had. I used to have black neon tetras. No, it was not. Yeah, I used to have those too, but I used to have emperor tetras, and they used to snack on them when they were so small. They used to just come and eat them, so I had to get rid of the emperor tetras. Now I don't have any shrimp, which is sad because I really did like the blue dreams or blue velvets as they call them. And other plants I have in here is some crypspiralis, as you see right there. I wish I kind of moved it to the front because now it's so far back, and it it's kind of getting light. It's grown a lot since I've got it. I think I've only had it for like maybe 2-3 months, and it was like very small when I got it, and now it's grown towards the light. Also, I've got some more Balencia over here, which I'm very curious as why this one is fairly green, and that it's like greenish, but like it's dark green, as you can see. That one's like darkish green, kind of brown. This one's like just all green, but this one over here is like brown. It's like straight brown, like a darkish green brown. And and the fun fact is I got all these same ones the same time. So I don't know, maybe it's melting, or it's because maybe I got it from 2 different, websites. Because I order my plants from a lot of different websites, and sometimes I get the same plant, or it might be cheaper, they have a sale, but it's a lot of difference I noticed between some of my plants. And I noticed that this one's brown. I don't know if it's a different kind of Balencia, or maybe it's just I'm not adding enough fertilizer or what, but if you guys let me know, that would be helpful. Also, I have some more Crypt Balencia right here. I had one of my earlier plants, I saw that it had clipping of it, so I just replanted it somewhere else. This little one right here, it's been doing good. A lot of my dwarf sage has been, carpeting around the tank, and I love it, but I wish it would grow taller, but haven't had that much success with it. I don't think my light is strong enough, but it's fine because it grows all my other plants well. Now, for all the people that's probably thinking, what plant is that? That is actually dwarf sage. I think it's called giant broadleaf dwarf sage. I think this is a different kind of dwarf sage than the other ones. And I like this one because it's like the leaves are way much bigger than the regular ones. And it's very big. I think these are the biggest dwarf sage I've ever seen, and I hope it's starting to spread. As you see, it's starting to spread. It spreads all over the tank. It's spreading back there, spreads over here, it's spreading over here.
And I got some other pieces back there, and it spreads all the way to up here. I clipped some of them to, I spread them around the tank just so I have a lot more so it can spread more. I mean, I have some hair grass right here, but it hasn't been doing well. I have little pieces. It's not been doing so well. I don't think because I have CO2, but it's died back so much. As you see, it's died back so much. There's a lot more, but it's okay. I've had some Java moss that's came in. I'm not sure if it's Java moss, but it came in on some with the shrimp that I had bought, and now I've grown it back in that corner so it doesn't get caught up in all the other plants, and then it's like all clumped up in one area. So I just put it back there, and it's been like growing all like it's growing right there. There's some over here. It's grown. There's another spot where it's grown, but I can't really see it. But I hope to sow some of that in the future. I also have a lot of ram sword snails in here. Now, I didn't want the snails. It came in on some plants, and I was very upset. But over time, it was so many of them. I was just trying to figure out how to get rid of them. And assassin snails, I have some. If I don't think you can see it, but there's one right back there. They hide during the day, and there's two of them in here that actually keep this. This used to be a ton of ram sword snails in here, but the assassin snail has, assassin snails have taken care of the population. I fed less. I left the lights on a little more. And the assassin snails have taken care of this population very well. As you see, there's no big ram sword snails in here, and it seems like just with two assassin snails that they've taken care of all. Like you can see a ton of like dead ram sword snails and just empty shells left over, which helps with the pH. As it breaks down the shell, it releases calcium in the water, and it helps the pH and the buffer. I had this tank maybe about, I don't know, maybe I've been running for this since I moved here, about maybe 7 months maybe. I also have this other filter I was running in the beginning because just to help clear it up, but now I don't run it. I need to figure out what I want to do with that. But I also run an aqua clear, probably one of my favorite filters. Have the flow turned down some because I don't want the guppies, especially the main Moscow guppy. I'm not really sure what to call him. I know he's one of the Moscows, but I don't know if he's the blue technically or the black because he has some of the shine to him. But I don't want to. But I have double sponge in here. As you can probably see in there, I have some filter floss, type of filter floss in between the sponges, and then I have some bio rings at the bottom so I can get the most out of this. And I have a whole my buckets over here, and I have tons of fish food. And it needs to be organized, but I really haven't had any space for after I got my $40 tank. So all this fish food, I got some fiber bites. I've been trying out my fish love. I got some Cobalt Aquatics. I've been trying these premium flakes. My fish love these. And I've noticed that they, when they defecate, it's way better. They process and let them digest their food. The different types of food that they get is very well in this food. And I got, I don't know. I got some. This one, the brine shrimp one, they love as well. I got some of the community pellets. I got some
catfish wafers when I had plecos, but you know, that doesn't go so well. I also have some Tetra. I had these for like maybe 3 years. This is almost empty now, but it's on for 3 years. I mean, I really feed it. I got some bug bites. I don't know why I'm turning it on this on the top. Got some freeze dried brine shrimp. Aquarium cloud. I absolutely love this food for my small fish, my fry. They absolutely love this food. Actually, let's go ahead and feed them right now. Watch, they're all gonna come to the surface. They're gonna get fed. Come on. Alright, y'all hungry? That may have been a little too much, but there's a whole. Oh, you're just dropping everything today. A little too much, but there's a ton of fish and fry that doesn't come to the top, and it's not really fast sinking. It's not really fast sinking. Let me get some footage of that for you guys. Plus, I got some. They're pretty much bigger. It's not like flakes where it's gonna super, you know, after a while it's gonna grow bigger in the stomach. Very small, you know, and there's tons of them, and there's tons of fry at the bottom, as you see. Getting the food, so that's why I kind of overfeed a bit. I still got tiny little babies. And also feed a lot more so the corridors get some, because I sometimes fear that some of the food that I drop in here and don't get eaten by the corridors, so I feed a little bit more so they get some, because they're pretty big. They're pretty big for their size. And they pretty sure eat a lot. And another thing, I know the females, they're a little more rounded, they're bigger than the males, but I'm not sure if these ones are just smaller, or, you know, that one looks like a female to me, because look how big that one is compared to this one right here. But I think this is the biggest one in the tank. I think this is the biggest fish so far. It's like, oh, that big. But alright guys, I think that's gonna be all for my introduction today. Leave a comment down below, and I'll show you some more fish videos on my fish journey.